Okay, hello and welcome everyone to yet another live streaming episode of Market Insights. I suppose if somebody is present, can you please put up a thumbs up for the audio and the video quality if it's fine, and then let us begin today's session. Okay, okay, that is fine. Alrighty. Okay, so I suppose we have got one thumbs up. That is fine for us right now. I guess the video quality that I'll be sharing right now will also be okay enough for you guys to see. Okay, so today's session is all about the different possibilities in the commodities that is happening currently. Okay, especially if you're okay, okay. So yeah, hello Adil. Uh, So today's session is all about gold and other commodities which are constantly, giving us outstanding swings. Okay, due to certain fundamental factors which we will discuss. Apart from that, we have seen that multiple people are yet to join in. So kindly remind your friends as to join in as fast as possible, or else I'll begin and I will end as fast as possible accordingly, right? So this is the scenario. Let us begin the session. Those who join in themselves. Okay, so let us begin with this first. This particular week, not much action, right? There is some talks by the Bank of England governor. I've not been through it, so no comments on this particular thing. Okay, although GBP USD might have certain swings. Okay, we need to see that as well. So from a perspective of technical analysis, we can go there, but today, after completing today's agenda, right, so what we have on our hands, we'll complete it and then we'll go there, or else we can start from there and then come to our agenda. That is also possible, very much. Next, we see that today we don't have much information as to the factors that will drive the market. But okay, we do have CV Consumer Confidence Index and Richmond Manufacturing. So both of these data, from a perspective of the aggregate demand side, it's important. CV Consumer Confidence and the Manufacturing Index obviously has certain form of impact as well on the currency, as well as the related counter commodities or counter currencies as well. So that is the scenario. Apart from that, tomorrow nothing, and day after tomorrow is GDP, which is final GDP. Okay, so it might act as a lagging indicator. Okay, there is a forecast of 2.7%. That is, the GDP remains unchanged. It is growing on a similar scale as the previous particular week. Sorry, month, and we have got this data to look out for on Thursday, right? And next, we have got unemployment claims. Okay, that's fine. And core PCE price index. This is going to be important on Friday. So we might see good amount of volatility on Friday. As such, the week again will end on a very sharp note, either in either side of the market, and we will see. a lot of fluctuations, I would say. Daily fluctuations, noises, whatever we can term it, right? I suppose many people have joined in. Just if there is any trouble in the audio part and the video part, kindly post it in the chat box. If there is not, then kindly put up a thumbs up or okay or whatever message that resembles that everything is fine. Okay. Now this one is the last week of our March. That is the first quarter is ending now. The previous week was quite something. Okay, let us go through it first. What has happened? So after FOMC funds rate was revised at 25 basis points, the gold fluctuated high, very swiftly. Multiple commodities, multiple currencies, it went up against the dollar. How it went, why it went, I had already shared you the data previously in the form of a report. But those who have not been through that, so we'll discuss that as well. We'll see it on the chart. Apart from that, we have seen GBP. They have also hiked 25 basis points. However, the data was not unanimous. Okay, the decision was not unanimous. Two of the members told that we have to keep the rates unchanged at 4% because they are actually witnessing that the Silicon Valley Bank crash as well as this Credit Suisse problem has you know has had a good amount of impact on the market sentiment. Okay, and the Fed also claims to have protected the interests of the depositors in the case of SVB, but there are contradicting statements by the Fed members. So that is also a questionable thing. However, what has impacted the price action and how it has impacted, that is more important, or that is of more essence to us, I would say. Next, this one, Secretary Yellen speaks. So there was some form of uh, you know dissonance in his speech, I would say. And next, we came to the PMI. Now, PMI was important from the perspective of USD because USD had to recover some, you know, lost ground against a lot of currencies and against a lot of okay, against a lot of currencies and a lot of commodities as well. Okay, I suppose I'm not able to see how many people have joined or something like that. I'm not even able to see the comments. So kindly put up certain things, or shall I rejoin or something like that? I'm not able to see anything here. Okay. So if there is any trouble, kindly message me on the group. Okay. Or just, I suppose there will be no issues apart from the audio wala problem, right? The content is always, I suppose, okay. So if there is any trouble on this particular front, on the audio and the video front, let me know. Apart from that, the PMI was actually positive. Okay, so it was above the market's expectation. In the case of manufacturing, it was 47, but the actual came out to be 49.3, which is still contracting for the economy, but it is better than forecasted. So accordingly, USD gained some ground on the last day of the market, right? And then 53.8 for services, which is quite consistent. I would say 50 to 53, 50 around this particular range. Okay, 46, 50.5. So it wasn't very good before this particular year started, right? But now it is moving up. It suggests that the economy is also kind of opening up after the COVID, drama. Now the economy is kind of opening up, and the first things that will be in charge of running the markets will be the services. Okay, that is the scenario. Give me a moment. Okay, so this is the scenario. And apart from that, we have just entered into the last week, I would say, of the first quarter of 2023. A lot of things are happening in a lot of markets, not only American market but other emerging markets as well, which is quite interesting from a perspective of learning and understanding the markets. Okay, We will begin now as to looking at the charts and what has happened in the previous week. As such, we have predicted that this would be a supply zone, demand zone, and look at how the price action has worked. It was previous, yes, Tuesday, I would say. This is the Tuesday that we talked about, and this was the last touch point that was missed almost by some bare pips, I would say. If I would say the low is 101.5 and this one is 101.34, something around. So very less, 20 pips difference, but still we were able to understand that yes, there is a reversal coming. Okay, despite a lot of fundamental fear wala factors that is going around in the market, in the news, and so many people are saying that yes, it is the end of the bull run for the US dollar. Absolutely, it might be. Okay, it ended in February only if you are counting this particular trend. Okay, if I may take the if I may take the liberty of saying it, it ended somewhere in February only. Okay, so this was here November, right? So November. So November only it ended, if I'm supposed to say so, right? So that is not a scenario which we need to be looking at. What is the current scenario that is working in the market, right? So previously the moves were not very volatile as such, but now the moves are continuing to be volatile on a day-to-day time frame. Okay, so all these moves that are appearing very subtle and very continuous, that won't look very continuous on a shorter time frame. Okay, so huge swings were possible. We have seen huge swings. Look at this. Look at, currently also it is going down, so quite edgy, this one, right? So this was not very much. If you look at this, the timing and the date, Friday, that we said was a good covering day for dollar, right? So a good cover was done here. Thursday obviously it went down, right? Let me just adjust the screen. Okay, and so very close to our demand zone. Okay, it happens sometimes due to volatility or due to certain factors. Average true range, you can calculate average true range and accordingly plan your entry. Okay, this is messed up. Okay, now it's fine. Okay, so this is the scenario overall, right? Now another important thing that I would like you guys to note is that this was a very important position from the perspective of learning the markets, right? Understanding the markets. Let me just use some certain tools, right? Now very sudden downfall, right, from here to here, recovering a little bit, pull back, right, and then continuing downside, then taking a upside, and then making almost the similar low. Okay, take this point, then it has went up. Okay, so how early signals can work for us is this, in this manner, right? This one point and this one. So almost, okay, which pattern is this? You have to comment in the chat box. Okay, for those who are present and lively, and those who had their teas, kindly put up in the chat box what kind of pattern is visible that I just drew on this chart. Okay, so this is the scenario first, right? And a proper scenario at that, right? A good upside, then a pullback, and then a banger upside. Okay, so this was a very good move, 1021 point 12 to 103 almost, right? And even this particular candle was very early signal. Which candle is this? You guys have to let me know. Okay, let me just put up a question mark there. Okay, I'll put up an exclamation instead of finding out this particular candle I'm talking about. Okay, so what is the name of this candle? We have already discussed. It is a type of a doji. Okay, and then the price is slowed down no matter what. Okay, no matter how bullish this pattern was. Okay, this pattern was bullish, but we had to go down from here, right? So accordingly, we haven't touched this again. This point hasn't been touched, right? It has continuously gone down, right? So this is the scenario of US dollar index currently. So this was the daily time frame here, right? Looking very simple, very sober. Okay, I'll just clear off everything. Normal swings are appearing and normal things are happening. But when you go down, certain explosive moves are very much visible from the perspective of day trading, from the perspective of intraday positions, right? And let me just stretch this up a little bit. Okay, I suppose no chat options are seen yet. Who could have predicted the correct answer for those questions that I asked? I suppose that is not very hard to answer. I've already taught you the American chart patterns, the classic chart patterns, and I've showed you how to analyze those, right? So it is one of the classic chart patterns, and this is also a Japanese candlestick pattern, okay? So look at how this Japanese candlestick pattern has worked out. If we go in the depth, candle started with two greens, okay? After those two greens started a candle from the close of the previous candle, that is this point. It went up all the way, okay? The movement was almost how much? 2.0%. No, the movement was probably higher than that. So 102.85 to 102.96. Okay, so almost around uh 20 15 to 20 pips movement. Let us not get into the exact calculation. 85 to 96, that is 20, 10 pips I suppose, yeah. So not much, but still an upside, and then it comes down. Okay, it comes down slowly, slowly, slowly. It comes down and it closes down here, which means a huge selling pressure was around somewhere here, right? So huge selling pressure. And now note this point, because this is going to be of value to us in the future, right? So this is the scenario, and then we see a continuous decline. If we could have spotted this particular thing, small thing, we knew that this is going to be a huge resistance for dollar. And what a resistance it has turned out to be. It is a continuous downfall, and never ever has the dollar attempted to even reach at this point. Okay, 102.965. This is the intraday time frame, so accordingly gaps will be visible. No worries about it. And then it is going down. Which point it is going down to? Obviously, these trend lines might help. Okay. However, there are certain horizontal levels that also can be made. Okay. So once breaking that, you will get some other point to reach to, right? So overall, this was the scenario. Currently, what is happening is this is a good resistance point. Okay, and the momentum is also bearish. Okay, momentum is also bearish. If the data today of CB Consumer Confidence Index, it turns out to be green somehow, okay, suggesting that there is still some gas, okay, some gas in the aggregate demand side of the US economy, and somehow consumers are still positive on their outlook, okay. So there might be certain reversal from here, or there will be a continued downside. And just to remind you, this is still available for us, okay? This is still a good supply zone or a demand zone, depending upon which side the price breaks after entering into this zone, okay? So this was made probably way back, before two, I suppose 2 months back, right? Not 2 months back, but two live streams back, okay? So this is the scenario. Overall, the bearish trend will continue. There will be a pressure on dollar, and it can be saved only by data for short term, okay? So this is the scenario. Now let us get to our hero of the day, that is hero of the week, I would say, because what a game has been played. Outstanding game has been played by gold. Through and through, it was so dramatic and so outstanding. that every move was just beautiful. Okay, to just see it going up and then coming down. So every single point was so amazing from a perspective of understanding the market itself. Okay, so I suppose the screen is visible right now. If there is any troubles, put up a message in the chat box. Okay, okay, give me a moment. Okay, so let us continue our work. What was gold doing all the time? It was giving us an outstanding swing by swing. Okay, every swing was very good, every swing was superb, and every swing was just mind blowing. Okay, every level was so thoroughly thought of and so properly, utilized. I suppose this is one. Okay, now it's fine. Okay, so what has happened currently? Let us go back in time a little bit. We were somewhere around this point, okay, where we had seen these levels, okay, where we had talked about, first of all, it was previously only, I suppose we were here, and I discussed about gold being too much overpriced. Somewhat of that sort happened in one of our previous live streams. I talked about why the gold was so much, overpriced. It shouldn't be overpriced at all in this scenario. Okay, there has to be some form of backing of the data, not just some, intuitive factors that are working behind the market. Okay, certain form of uh, you know lobbies trying to work against certain particular lobby. So this was not thought of, you know but this move was so dramatic downside. Okay, such a dramatic downside. Look at the high and look at the low. The swing difference will shock you. Okay, in something called gold. Okay, so the high was somewhere around 2009. Okay, look at this candle, the high is 2009, and this particular line 1935. What a beautiful downside that has happened. Okay, after we discussed this, okay, of gold being overpriced. Okay, so it had to come down somewhat. It stabilized in this particular zone 35.45, then it reached out. Okay, okay, no, it's fine. Look at how the resistance is acting, look at how the price action is struggling. Okay, every single candle, gives us a very good hint about where we are and how we are, you know looking at the market, right? So the price action itself gives us clues. Is the video paused now? Video paused. I can't see things, so kindly post it in the chat box or in the group. Is the video paused now? Because it is moving, I suppose, as I'm using this chart. Okay. I had paused the video, but now is it okay? I suppose get the answer first, or else the same thing will happen. I go on discussing stuff and you guys will not be able to catch up, right? It's okay, I suppose. Yeah. So, yes, getting back to this particular discussion, look at how the price action is functioning, point to point, every single time. Regularly four candles, here support, outstanding support, here also support. A wick has been formed downside, but not a very huge wick, so that it unstabilizes you. Okay, so that is the scenario, and then going upside again, facing resistance multiple times, until there comes a time that there is enough buying pressure that it breaches this particular level and then takes a support on this level. So how precise this price action can tell you things, it's just mind blowing. Okay, so 1945 it broke, and then some news came out Wednesday. I don't know, I don't remember. So we will have to get back to the calendar first. Okay, so let me just check. What was it? 22nd, huh? Okay, 22nd was FOMC meeting. Yes, correct. So 22nd was FOMC, right? And FOMC was here, right? Somewhere around in the midnight only. And the push was outstanding. Okay, the push was bang on. Okay, and look at this particular first candle. It has made a high around this particular number, 1966. Okay, so what a high, just just coinciding with our level. Then it has went up, then it is volatile action, so it will not give us much idea. Okay, but however it was bullish and it continued upside. Okay, then took a resistance here, and then took supports here. Somewhat it broke down from here, took support on the very same level, and then it went up. Now, one thing to note here is that this is very overpriced level. Okay, 2000 is very overpriced. Okay, the market doesn't like it. Okay, so it has to throw the price down a little bit. There has to be some pullback. However, there was good amount of consolidation. The consolidation could have lasted here only, right? But what happened? Still, volatility caused certain movements, upside, ups and downs. But somehow, the data came out to be good for USPMI on Friday, which meant that the manufacturing and the services sector is still intact, and it is still throbbing. Okay, it has not gone completely dim. Okay, it is still moving up and down, right? So that that particular data further ignited a move downside. And what a downside, multiple opportunities can be seen here. Okay, first of all, overpriced levels. Okay, overbought levels by extension, and then continuous downside. What a downside. And this, now the supports won't work. Okay, in this scenario the supports won't work. What will work is the swing. Okay, we have to look at it as a swing. Okay, so getting to this particular level, now look at it. Okay, first of all, it is a textbook example of double top. Okay, in this case, head and shoulders. In this case, double top. Textbook example. Okay, nothing to be done here. If I'm deleting every single thing here, okay, let us delete everything. What I will do to explain a double top is I will draw this. Okay, this is hourly time frame, so good enough for us. Okay, and I will draw this, right? Okay, that is fine with me. Somewhere around this is the head part. Okay, look at this, a proper double top. Okay, and then move this side, which was bang on. Okay, and coinciding with the previous 1930 45 wala something level. Okay, so that is what it is. Textbook example. Okay, nothing to be concerned of. Now the problem is it didn't reach 35 level. That means it is moving upside. Okay, it is making a higher low, right? It is moving upside, Okay, it is making a higher low. Can you see some pattern here, right? We can see some pattern over here, right? It is making higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. It is updating itself, no matter by $10 or whatever difference it is, but it is still moving up. So somewhat there is still a bull run present. It might be, inherent in it. It might be implicit. It will get explicit soon. Okay, it will get explicit, and we will see the bull run again. Okay, but if the data permits, the timing of it will be based on the data. Currently also it is trying to move upside, but we know somewhere around 65, 66 there is still trouble. Okay, there is still trouble for the price action. Okay, the amount of risk that one can take is it depends upon the person itself, right? So 64 or 65 I'm making, and it will be very much easy to understand for us to look at that particular data, right? Hmm. Now look at this. The current price quote is also around 65. So will it break? Because this is a volatile candle, somewhat of starting candle of some market. Okay, so it might push it upside, because again, what it is looking like is a double bottom here, right? And this double bottom is not exactly double bottom. It is a rising double bottom, right? So here and here, and this might be the case. Accordingly, you have to consider that this is for educational purposes only. Okay, so whatever happens in the market is a result of the market dynamics, the market bias, the sentiment, and a lot of indicators that are available on the market. So a lot of parameters can be looked into. This is just one of the discussion that can be possible. Okay, so let me delete everything so that it is visible better. Okay. Okay, let us draw it again. Okay. Okay, the mouse is a bit of a trouble. No worries, we have got magnet on. Yeah, so this is the scenario. Okay, where the neckline is a questionable thing, because this is a rising double bottom. If I will draw a trend line and try to replicate it, that will be even finer. Okay, if I replicate it, okay, this is bad. Let us replicate it. Okay, let me move it up a little bit. This might be the case in this scenario. Okay, it has to break this particular trend line. Okay, upside. ये वाला trend line it has to break with the same degree that we have, 19 degrees, 19 degrees. Okay, that is fine with me. Now let us see what happens of the price action. Okay, currently 15-minute time frame, it is looking very bullish, but how long bullish, that is also a questionable thing. The time frame that it will be bullish for is important. And today, as we don't have much information on much data, okay, wholesale inventories is there. Okay, that might not have uh, predicted such a move. Okay, yes, so this is the scenario right now. It is reaching the trend line. Let us see what happens. Okay, 67.4. Look at the reaction of the market as it reaches this trend line. Okay, it comes down from there. Okay, so whatever we see in the first instance, we don't have to believe that, we have to confirm, right? For confirmation, let us open up. Okay, these are the long term EMAs. Let us turn this to short term EMAs. Okay, 9. Okay, what it is looking like, it is looking like as it was completely bearish. Okay, now the price action is trying to move up. It has breached all the three EMAs, and EMAs now are lagging behind. So this is the scenario. However, as we discussed, this trend line is important for us, right? No matter what the time is, once we have got a trend line, then we can easily predict what is going to happen. As such, we are here. Uh, I suppose there might be some issues, so let me just clarify this particular thing. Give me certain moments, few moments, I will be back. In the meanwhile, those who have joined in, they can post their suggestions or their queries in the chat box. Okay. Okay, I'm back. The charge is very meager, right? This particular activity drains up a lot of energy, both of this laptop as well as mine. So, so this is the scenario. Look at the resistance here. What a beautiful mark here. Okay, look at the selling pressure that might have entered after reaching this trend line on dot. Okay, and it was made live. Just by understanding the market. Okay, so what we are doing here is completely educational and quite spontaneous, I would say, right? So GBP JPY is one of the options. Okay, we are supposed to concentrate on commodities today and crypto if possible. So another part of this is the outstanding opportunities that we have seen in euro, in GBP USD, and the one and only Bitcoin. Okay, so let us go to the Bitcoin wala part first. Bitcoin is always interesting. I don't know why people avoid Bitcoin. Okay, but it is always interesting from the perspective of learning. Okay, now what is this? I might have done certain things on this particular thing. Okay, I can't recognize this. Maybe some other. This one, yeah, this one. Okay, good. That one was also fine. I suppose the same thing it was there. No. Okay. Continue on this one. So yes, this is the scenario. Overall, yes. Yeah. What is happening in Bitcoin is that Bitcoin is now acting against the market. Okay. Previously, we used to say that Bitcoin and other risk assets, basically the market itself, had some correlation. Okay, and it is proving it again. Okay, as the dollar weakens and the market somewhat gains momentum, the Bitcoin also gains momentum anyhow. Okay, so there was this particular resistance, this red wala line, 28,175. Okay, uh, and this particular range. Okay, it tried breaking the range, but to no avail. This is the daily time frame, so there might be certain days where the upside will be possible. But if you see this kind of a break, This is a false break. Okay, here false break, here false break. Okay, but now it is looking promising. Okay, why it is looking promising? Because of all these green candles. Okay, it is very fast and it is very quick. However, in the shorter time frame, what we need to do, that is also questionable, right? So this particular, why is it not showing this particular? Okay, okay, it might be that particular thing. So yeah, give me. Okay, so yeah, this 28, 175, 28, 200 something around, right? It has acted as a resistance. No matter these candles are not exactly below this particular line. Okay, not exactly touching this particular line. No matter. However, when you go to the shorter time frame, you will get to see that this line is quite strong. Okay, this level is quite strong, a level. Okay, you might see volatile, volatile ranges, volatile swings all over. Okay, I hate when this particular thing, works on itself. Why can't it just take my command? Okay, now it's fine. Look at this. How it is going up. It is taking resistance, going up, failing, not having that much, buying pressure, coming down and then coming down again. So it does not show us a very good opportunity. Okay, but it just shows us how the market is functioning. Okay, why the market is going up, taking a resistance around this point, then pulling back, taking a support on this point. Okay, but due to lack of momentum in the action, okay, there is it is coming down, it is coming below this particular line, right? Look at how it has been supported continuously. Every single candle has been supported. Now this boom, just down. Okay, and from here boom. So this boom will be captured by this level only, na? This boom was captured by this level at this point somewhere, right? 28 100, here 28 225 somewhere around, right? So some pips or some dollars you can, some difference you can uh, you know get. Again, very much consolidating on this line and then coming down. Now this line, this yellow line I have drawn, this looking at the lows, which are basically upgrading itself. These are going up. These are higher lows, higher lows, higher lows until it breaks. Okay, so it has broken. It is sorry, it has broken from this point. Okay, this point has broken 27th of March, Monday. That is yesterday. While I predicted an upside move, which would be possible because the EMAs were going up. Okay, at this point the market was quite bullish. Okay, why it happened? Maybe because of the turn of the week, a new week has started, maybe because of that or some other reason. We don't know, but we captured this moment. That's what matters. Okay, uh yeah. Is it visible? I suppose it is visible. There is some form of a lag, I suppose. That is why I'm not able to see it. Okay, so this movement was supposed to be, very bullish. The indicator is not functioning. It will come up after some time, don't worry. Okay, so this was going up and making higher lows every single time, na? So what does it suggest is that yes, it is time for us to break this resistance. However, the resistance is such that it has put up great pressure on this particular thing, and now it has come down. What a waterfall of prices that has fallen down. Okay, so just count the difference. If you will count the difference, you will get to know price range. Okay, I will remove this magnet. Count this. Okay, add on the magnet. Yeah, how much difference? Look at this, 4%. That is 1,000, $1,100. 111,000 pips difference. So these are not just numbers, okay? These are a real quantity of the data of the price action difference. Okay, real quantity. So this real quantity was such huge. That is why I love swings in Bitcoin especially. It is just mind blowing. It is just, it makes or breaks, right? It's a make or break wala situation in Bitcoin always, and that is why it is very lovely to play with this. Although many might disagree that no sir, this is not very good. Okay, this is not very good for the overall sentiment of and also not good for a player who has just entered the market. Yes, that is absolutely true. Now here I was talking about the EMA, right? So let me just put up good EMAs, not these numbers, right? We can see some distinction, right? So this 7 white wala EMA is the faster EMA. Okay, look at how the EMAs once who were very different. It has started an uptrend, 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 and then I'm talking about 50, 70, I suppose 50, 100. It happens. Okay, don't worry. Yeah, look at this scenario. At this point, it had entered an uptrend. Okay, at this point, it was continuously going up. This is the long-term EMAs. Okay, looking at this, I was quite a bullish. Right, it has to be a certain form of an upside possibility. Upside possibility was there. However, it could not go upside. Now, what a timing! The EMA lagged obviously, but our trend line told us yes, now is the time to move, and this was the time to move. What a movement downside, right? Again, support here acted as support here. Is again struggling with the EMAs. Okay, 50, 100, 200. So this is the scenario in Bitcoin. Outstanding movement, very very precise, on point, and just mind blowing. The differences are just you know something to die for. So this is the scenario. Coming on to our last discussion, last topic of today is the very much redundant oil. Okay, continuously we are witnessing this particular thing, up down, up down. I am quite bored with oil right now. Okay, however the levels are functioning well. Okay, but this kind of volatility is just small candles, almost dojis. Doesn't matter where you start a trade. Doesn't matter a breakout has happened or not. Doesn't matter if the support has been taken or not. Just the difference is not there. Okay, the movement is not there. So overall this scenario is this, that oil was basically pushed upside from this particular point 66, which is very low, and now it is 72. So the difference is quite amazing, but the time frame that we are looking at is very high. It was since last Friday, and now we are at 72. So the amount of time that has been taken in this swing, it's very high as compared to the previous asset that we saw. So accordingly, multiple times you will see all these levels have captured support resistances very swiftly. Look at this current scenario. Resistance coming down, going up, taking support, going up, right? Going up, taking a resistance for a very long time, almost like a ranging movement here. Then it has come down. It has tried to go up. Okay, it has tried to move up, but to no avail. Couldn't even reach our next point. Okay, 73.5 something. And then it has come down back into the range. It doesn't seem so as if there is a clear trend in this particular scenario. However, if we delete everything else, okay, shall we look at the indicator or the trend? Obviously, we will look at the trend. Okay, there is a very good bias inside me that I will look at the trend any day because it provides us such opportunities That is just mind blowing. Okay. Okay, on point candle. Look at this. Yeah, this is also fine. Currently, it is breaking the trend, it's supposed, right? If we are counting in these lows, it's somewhat breaking the point. So there might, you know, there might be a continuous downfall from here. It is possible. Okay, there is support of 50 EMA, however, in this particular scenario. Okay, there is a support here somewhat. That is why this green candle has been formed after this red candle has completely, breached the level. Okay, so this overall suggests us that we have to wait. Okay, simply wait, understand where the market is heading to. Okay, a new market is going to open up, which is going to start something else. So focus and just remember where we are. Apart from that, short term, let's go to short term. Okay. Hmm. What the, so 10, 5, 50. Okay, that is the EMAs are also quite bearish. Okay, short term bearishness is there. Accordingly, we have to see whether it breaks this trend line and continues downside or not. So this is the scenario overall. Okay, now we have finished early, but I would say it was quite an outstanding session because we have witnessed gold as well in the live. Okay, in the live market. So look at this. We had just drawn these two lines in order to capture all this, and now it has started, moving within this particular triangle. So Tuesday we will have to look at this particular thing for quite some time unless there is a breakout of some sort, whether it be downside breakout, a pullback, or an upside. Okay, so that is the scenario. And Bitcoin, as usual, a beautiful scenario for those who want to trade with risk. What a beautiful asset to work in, right? So this is the scenario. Overall, I hope today's session was productive. Overall, a session which gave you much of the idea of how the markets work. I hope it was something to learn. Learned something, and it was all about the education. It was all about the understanding of the markets as such. Okay, so thank you very much for joining in, everyone. Uh, See you next time. Until then, happy learning and happy trading.